choose a player or enter your name. Then, click on the Sign In button to start the story. This is George. He was a good little monkey, but always very curious. One day, George's friend Billy came over with a special friend.
George, when the people at the newspaper hear this bird, they won't believe it.
George and Billy went inside and found the newsroom. They met Hildy Hawkins, one of the Daily Bulletin star reporters.
You must be Billy. I'm glad you stopped by. But listen, I'm very busy. What's so special about this bird? Lola, was it?
That's right. Lola is the best storyteller you'll ever meet. She can tell you what it's like to climb Mount Everest. She can tell you about having tea with the Queen of England. And she can do tricks that no other bird can do.
Well, that would make a great story indeed. I'd like to talk to her.
Sure, but please, whatever you do, don't open the cage. She'll fly away, and it will be almost impossible to get her back.
Okay. Go ahead, Lola. Tell me a story.
Well, Hildy, before they built the Brooklyn Bridge, who do you think everyone counted on to get all of that mail across the river? Me! That's who! I'd like to share this with you, but first, I'd like you to get me some Happy Face crackers.
Lola!
Wow! You're right. She's amazing. This'll make a great story. Just a sec. Hildy Hawkins here.
Hey, Hill, there's a fire on Beacon Street. That's your beat, isn't it?
Sure is. I'll be right there. The three of you stay right here. I'll be back soon. We'll have just enough time to write your story for the afternoon edition.
Looks like we'll be here for a while. I'm gonna look around. You stay here and watch Lola.
Psst! George, do me a favor. Open the door.
George thought Billy said not to open the door, but George was curious. He wanted to see what kinds of tricks Lola could do.
George! I'm practicing a triple flip.
George had never seen that before. He reached over and... Sure enough, Lola was happy to be out of her cage, but she didn't do any tricks. Instead, she circled around the room, and then...
Oh no!
She flew out the window and headed for the roof. George felt very sorry. There was nothing to do but go after her.
Be careful, George. I'll meet you up there.
George climbed up to the very top of the newspaper building. He found a pair of painters hard at work. They were working on a fancy new sign-making machine. They were very busy and did not look happy about having visitors.
Hey! Where'd this bird come from?
Here, birdie, come here. Stay away from there.
Ooh, paint! I remember when I was the centerpiece of the royal portrait. The diamonds on my crown were so heavy, I could hardly hold my head up. Such hard work.
That darn bird. Keep her off the... Oh, no. Look out for the wet paint.
Drat! How are we going to finish this job by lunchtime?
Well, maybe George can help us.
Yeah! George, can you help us, please?
George felt bad. He let Lola out of her cage, and now she'd caused a lot of trouble. George saw that the painters were upset, so he decided to help them paint their signs.
Click on the letters to spell each word. Then George will paint the sign. Click on the big buttons to change the color. I'm ready when you are. Spell cat. The fat cat took another nap. Cat. C. C. A. T. Cat. Good work! Spell sad. I will be sad if you hurt my feelings. Sad.
Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin.
There she is, up there.
It was a busy construction site. While Billy asked for help, George explored the construction site. There were all kinds of machines he had never seen before. George was very curious. He found a tall crane and climbed inside. What a wonderful machine! George was sure that this was the way to catch that bird. Pretty soon, he was making the crane go up and down.
George, you shouldn't be playing with that.
George, be careful.
George had figured out how to start the crane, but he didn't know how to stop it. And it swung right into all of the building plans.
Look, we can't build the building if the workers don't have plans. Help me pick up the building plans and get them back to the right worker. Help George pick up the plans that spell each word. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to help George move.
Here we go. Spell plum.
I brought a juicy plum to eat with lunch.
Plum. P. L. U. M. Plum.
Nice job!
Spell bus.
Every morning, I take the bus to work.
Bus. Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin.
Nice day for a spin around the park.
There's Lola. Come on, let's go.
George and Billy raced down the path to the park. Soon, they caught up to the bird.
Yoo-hoo! You might want to watch where you're going.
George and Billy didn't take their eyes off of Lola as they ran after her, so they didn't notice that they were headed right for a fence.
Oh, now you've done it! I just arranged these flowers for the Words in Bloom display that's due at the library this afternoon. Now they're completely out of order.
We're very sorry, but you see, we're after our bird.
Yes, but my flowers! You really should clean up this mess that you made. Besides, I don't see a bird around here. Please arrange the flower pots on the wagon to spell each word. Put the first letter in the spot with the blue circle. All set? Spell cloud. There is only one white cloud in the sky. Cloud. C. L. O. U. D. Cloud. Excellent. Spell flat. Oh no! The tire on the wheelbarrow is flat. Flat.
Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin. When they reached the park, George and Billy saw lots of people having picnics and flying kites, but they didn't see Lola anywhere.
Oh, look, George. My friends are having a picnic.
Hi, Billy. Hi, George.
Hi, we're looking for Lola. Have you seen her?
Your bird? We just saw her.
You did? The newspaper is doing an article about her, and we have to get her back right away. Can you help us catch her?
Sure, what should we do?
First, we need some crackers. Do you have any?
Sure, we have a box of Happy Face crackers.
Perfect! Those are her favorite. Can we have them?
Sure.
Billy realized that his friends had just offered him their snack.
We have some fresh strawberries. Joey, do you want to trade us for your crackers?
Okay, thanks.
George took out the strawberries that the gardener had given him, and he traded them for the crackers. But just as Joey handed the basket over to George,
I'm hungry and I want a happy face.
Oh no! Look out!
Lola flew away with the picnic basket, but she didn't notice that everything, including her favorite snack, was falling out of it.
Look at that! She dropped all of the crackers. Let's pick them up and try to catch up to her. Hurry and pick everything up before Lola tries to get it. I'll tell you a word. Then you pick up the right crackers to spell it. Ready? Spell much. Lola can't last much longer without any food. Much. M. U. C. H. Much. Got it. Spell splash. Did you see a fish splash in the water? Splash.
Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin. Back inside the newsroom, George and Billy looked for the reporter.
Looking for Hildy? She got held up. Won't be back till later. Guess your story won't make the evening edition. Sorry, guys.
George had an idea.
Good thinking. We can write the story ourselves.
To finish your story, place each word in the correct sentence. Ah. The. And. Curious George chased Lola, a talking parrot, for 5 miles. He ran from the town to Goldfish Pond. George had let Lola get out. Then he tried and tried to get her back.
Excellent.
Turn the page to keep going. Hey, this is good. It's really good. Listen, if I need any help, I'll come looking for you too.
George and Billy were excited to become reporters. They were ready now. It had been quite an eventful morning for George and Billy. They were about to leave when the editor came back.
Oh good, you're still here. As it turns out, I need a couple of top-notch reporters to cover some hot stories today. First, Thea, the glamorous host of Story Theater, is opening tonight at the Granada. Billy, can you cover that?
You bet.
George, I need you to go to the library. The famous children's author, Wanda Jewell, will be reading her newest stories. It's a very big event. The whole town will be there, even the mayor.
It was a perfect assignment for George. He loved the books that Wanda Jewell wrote.
I'll need your stories by 6 o'clock to make the late edition. Good luck, and don't miss your deadlines.
George and Billy went off to their first assignments. George hurried to the library and got there early. He wanted to do a good job. He he saw the librarian giving books to people. He also saw how happy everyone was to receive the books.
Thank you.
George was curious. He wanted to make people happy too. He found a pile of books and started giving them away.
Why, thank you so much.
Wanda Jewel came in to start her reading.
Thank you all for... Oh! My books! They're gone! I just finished the drawings last night, and those were the only copies I had. I can't read you my stories if they're not here. Where could they have gone?
As mayor of this town, I promise you that your books shall be found and returned. Everyone, please spread the word. We will find those books, and we will have the reading. Please be back here at 5 o'clock.
George had made a terrible mistake. He had given away all of Wanda Jewel's special books. He would have to get them back by 5 o'clock, or there would be no reading. George was about to leave when he spotted a man with one of the books. George ran after him. There were a lot of people outside, but George didn't take his eye off the man with the book until...
Oh, no! Look what you've done, George. The Words in Bloom Festival starts today. And look at this. The words and letters are everywhere. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You should really watch where you're going.
George felt awful. It was a mess. George, want to help me out? You're a good climber, so you can help me get the letters off the statues. Be careful, though, and don't let the other gardeners catch you. Listen to the words I say, then look on the statues for the letters to spell each word. Use your mouse or the arrow keys on your keyboard to move George around the maze. But don't let the gardeners catch you. Ready? Spell bag. There's a big hole in your bag. Bag. B. A. G. Bag. Great! Spell bat. I have a bat and a ball. Bat. Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin. He followed the woman into a restaurant. Inside, George looked around and saw her sitting down for lunch. But on his way over... Well, the perfect solution. You with the forehands, you're just in time. See, my dishwasher didn't show up. Boy, am I glad you're here to help. But there was the woman and the book out there. But George knew he could work quickly. He was an experienced dishwasher. And if he worked fast enough, he could finish the dishes before she ate dessert. At least, he hoped he could. Help me wash and sort these dishes by spelling each word. Take each dish out of the tub and put it in the machine. Listen carefully. Spell use. Which soap did you use? Use. U. S. E. Use. You got it. Spell joke. Everyone left when I told the joke. Joke. Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin.
Hi, George. I still have the book you gave me, see? But I think this is a very special book. You weren't supposed to give it away, were you?
George shook his head.
Well, here you go. You make sure this gets back to the library where it belongs. Goodbye now.
George was glad to have another book back, and after all of that running around, he was ready for a snack. Inside the bakery, George saw everyone pointing to cakes, pies, and other pastries. Whatever they pointed to, the baker would give to them. So when it was George's turn, he pointed to his favorite, donuts.
A dozen donuts for you?
George was delighted. He sat down right there and started to eat them. But then,
That'll be $1.
George didn't know he had to pay for the donuts. He didn't have any money.
You'll have to do some work to pay for those, George. Come with me to the kitchen, where the alphabet buns are rising. They must be punched down before I can bake them.
Watch closely to spot the letters in the rising dough. Then, hit the rolls with the letters that spell each word. Keep punching down the rolls, even if the letters disappear. It helps make them delicious. Let's go. Spell ball.
Roll the pie dough into a ball.
Ball. B. A. L. L. Ball. You got it. Here's the next batch. Spell jaws.
The jaws of the shark were huge.
Jaws. Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin. George had never been inside the factory before. What a cool place.
Welcome to Bramble's Ice Cream Company, and welcome to our official factory tour. My name is Bonnie Bramble, and my family makes all of our world-famous ice cream cakes right here. Is everybody ready?
Wow, this is great. Got any free samples? Neato! Look at that!
George saw that the tour guide held one of Wanda Jewel's books right under her arm. George tried to get her attention, but she didn't see him. So he joined the tour and soon found himself in front of one of the most fascinating machines he had ever seen.
This machine can make 600 ice cream cakes in 1 hour. And it's a good thing, too. We have to make 1,000 for a special party tonight.
George was curious. 1,000 cakes is a lot, he thought. He looked at the machine and saw that he could make it go faster. So he flipped a switch and...
Oh, no!
The machine spit out hundreds of cakes at once. Ice cream and frosting flew everywhere.
What a disaster! How will we finish our order for tonight?
We'll help. Yeah, we can all help you.
Pick up the right cakes to spell the word I say. Drop the ones you don't want into the tub. Now please be quick and try not to make a mess. Here we go. Spell spoon. The boy ate his ice cream with a spoon. Spoon. S. P. O. O. N. Spoon. Good work. Spell look. I like to look at the stars. Look.
Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin. George and the bellhop made it all the way to the Grand Hotel without dropping a single cake. Here we are. Thanks, George. I'm lucky you were here to help. Once the cakes were safely delivered, George got the books out of his backpack to give to Wanda Jewel. Uh-oh, how did this happen, thought George. All of the books were ripped and torn, and some of the words were missing. He couldn't give them back like this. Wow, you found a lot of books. Click on the one you want to fix. Uh-oh, this one needs to be fixed. Put each word back in the correct sentence.
Charlie the Wonder Dog. Crown. Cape. Vest. Gown.
Help!
Cried Queen Jingles.
The ruby has been stolen from my crown!
Charlie the Wonder Dog put on the red cape that helps him fly through the air. That way, he could catch Fluffy the cat burglar. Charlie reached into Fluffy's vest. There was the jewel. Charlie returned the ruby to Queen Jingles.
You look lovely,
Said Charlie.
and this ruby matches your silk gown. Super!
When he had all of the books in tip-top shape, George looked around. He spotted Wanda Jewel at the elevator. George was anxious to return the books to her, so he grabbed them and ran as fast as he could towards the elevator. He got there just as the elevator doors opened. Wanda Jewel turned around, but she was so startled by George that she jumped up and bumped right into Thea, the star of Story Theater. Then George bumped into them, and Wanda's precious books were everywhere. Everyone started to pick up the books, but just then, George saw one of the books leaving the hotel stuck, of all places, to Thea's dress. After all of that work, George wasn't going to let a single book get away. He chased Thea into the theater.
Sorry, George. Only performers and stage crew allowed in here.
It was after 4 o'clock, and the reading was at 5. There wasn't much time left. George knew he had to find a way in to get that book back.
Hi, Hank. What's up?
Hi, you two. Go on in. Hey, wait a minute. Where did George go?
George had found a way to get backstage.
What do you know? Hi, George. Here to help? I'm in a hurry to get this whole set ready, and I could use an extra hand. What do you say?
George agreed to help. It was a good way to keep an eye on Thea and the book.
Help George pick up the letters that spell each word. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to help George move.
I'm ready when you are.
Spell heed.
My friend said he'd like to run the theater someday.
Heed. H. apostrophe. D. Heed. Great! Spell I'm. Someday I'm going to star in a play. I'm.
Pick another episode in the story. Do you want to stop playing? This is where we left off. Click on the episode you want to see, then click on Go to begin. The reading began right at 5 o'clock. It was a full house. The mayor was happy, and everything was back to normal. George enjoyed every book Wanda Jewel read. He got the scoop on her new stories, then ran all the way back to the newspaper building. It was 5:45 when he arrived. He only had a few minutes before his deadline.
Good to see you made it back. Now let's get those stories.
George got to work right away.
To finish your story, place each word in the correct sentence. Town. Read. That. Wet. World-famous author Wanda Jewel came to town yesterday to read from her latest books. The stories were so new that the ink was still wet on a few of them. Nice job! Turn the page to keep going. George, this is great! What a super reporter you are! And what a story!
In fact, it was such a great story that it made the front page.